rock band Camp is currently playing a concert in Budapest at MANYI. We are afterwards the concert now. How came the idea to come to Budapest during your tour?
Well, we have a friend here. We met him at the wedding of our best friend Mizos, which is also a brother from Made of Cups, Panos.
And he was at his wedding?
Yeah, and we met him there.
And yeah, we talked with him, and then Doris asked him where is he from, and he said, okay, we're going on tour this fall, maybe you can help us with something.
Which other places were you traveling to during this tour?
Mostly Germany.
We were like in 6 different cities in Germany, Frankfurt, Bonn, Weimar, some small cruises, Lubersee, Budapest, also in Prague, and we're going to play in Sofia, Bulgaria.
And then come back home to Thessaloniki and play our last gigs.
You are playing rock music with some blues voice, because your voice and your song, your singing style is quite blues style combined with rock. How is the blues rock scene in Greece? And are there many bands playing this style? As of course, there are some metal bands in Greece and also some other styles. But how is the blues rock scene there?
We wouldn't identify as blues rock actually. It's that.
You have sung a lot of jazz.
Yes. But I would say that we play mostly rock, and there are many bands in
all genres, from jazz to like hip hop and all kinds.
But especially the indie rock scene is really huge in Greece.
Leah can tell you about it. She plays in 40 bands.
It's not on the indie rock scene though, but there are a lot of bands from that spectrum. I think that's the biggest thing in Greece that blossoms, you know.
Actually, we found out about Leah when we played together with her band by her connection, and we just were magnetized by her playing and her full music together.
And
you should check them out by her connection from Thessaloniki.
And how is the media in Greece, the music media? There is, for example, public service radio Cosmos, which is playing a lot of Greek bands and local music, endorsing the local music. How is the Greek radio scene for the local Greek bands, and how is the cooperation of Greek radios? Are there, for example, some quotas to obligatory play Greek bands in a certain amount of the radio?
No, there isn't such thing. Actually, there are only a couple of songs that play once or 2 songs per show.
Most of the radio stations are working with playlists, and there are really a few radio stations that also have DJs and choosing music, and from these DJs only a few play Greek bands and local bands.
I think this might actually be the biggest difference between Thessaloniki and Athens, because in Thessaloniki there are actually many producers trying to get bands to play on the radio. There's 2 big stations that do that a lot, and the past year there's programs that have only new bands playing on the station, so that's cool, but they wouldn't know that because
So are there huge differences between the cultural life in Thessaloniki and Athens, the 2 biggest cities? And how would you define the cultural life in both cities, and also the possibilities for Greek bands concerts and airplay in your home.
What are you looking at me?
It seems like Thessaloniki maybe it's more supportive to the scene.
It depends. If you live in Athens, you think that Thessaloniki is more open. When you live in Thessaloniki, you think Athens is more open.
I think it's tough for the both of cities, but because Thessaloniki is like a really small community, if you get like within the, if you meet a few people, it's way easier to get around than it is in Athens. But I guess it's easier to have a breakthrough in Athens, you know what I mean? Because it's a bigger city with more opportunities. But Thessaloniki is more of like a communal space for artists to grow. I think it's easier to get started.
Yes, we don't feel that way.
But at the end of the day, it's very difficult to get more than 100 people for a show. If you get 100 people for a show, that's a big success. For most bands. For most indie bands.
Most of the time, other music artists go to their friends' concerts.
In the news, Greece is mostly about the touristic things, the economical problems and the political shifts, for example, from the Latvian government to the Nea Democratic government, and what are the differences. But how is it influencing the cultural scene? You as musicians and artists, how are these economical and political phenomena are influencing your own life as a private person and as artist to have possibilities?
Yeah, it's very difficult for an artist to be able to pay the rent in Greece and not do other stuff. Most of us have other jobs to support our music.
Us, we do completely irrelevant with music jobs to pay our bills. Lilia is one of the luckiest.
Yeah, I'm a full-time musician. That's fucked up. But I think the biggest problem is that the government is fighting the spaces, not the artists themselves, but the spaces are closing, so there's nowhere you can go to play. In Thessaloniki there's 2 bars left because they always find a way to have them closed down because of loud music or stuff like that. So.
But this is very recent.
Yeah, it's like the last 2 years. It's been an attack because of in my city. There's a problem with the Airbnb. Huge problem. Everything is shutting down. We're trying to do something about it because we don't have spaces to play. But I don't know, in Athens.
Sometimes everything is an Airbnb, you can't find a place to stay or in the house. It's a difficult situation. And not many bands are able to go outside Greece and tour.
That's the main problem. The main problem is that we cannot tour. I mean, you can do music as a hobby or maybe work as a session musician, work with Greek superstars, etc. Or bands that work at hotels and stuff like that. But if you want to tour, you have to invest some money, and this is the most difficult thing to do, and that's why it took us so many years to go on our first tour, because we had to have money.
To earn the money to go.
Yes.
Are you having some albums, or how you produce your own music?
We have a new album that is coming out. We have it on CD downstairs, but it's not yet released. Released. It was produced by Vasilis Misopoulos, who plays at the West Wilder, one of the best bass players yet.
This is a very good dance. It's one of the the best. Yeah, we all of us have also other projects that we have released music in the past and still releasing music.
And are you also into other styles, also like the traditional Greek styles, for example, Rembrandtico and these things? Or you keep them out and just concentrating on the rock style?
I love Rembrandtico, and it's one of the few genres, Greek genres that I listen to. There is really good traditional music, but the way that modern Greek traditional music has gone, it's really commercial. Like, and everywhere happens. It's mostly trash.
Yeah, but I think everyone who was born and raised in Greece is influenced by the local music.
Yes.
Even Christian music.
Yes. We haven't incorporated.
It's a journey because when you are like 15 years old, you want to listen to something else and then you come back to
I think that you cannot fight when you're born somewhere and you grow up listening to stuff. It's in your blood and it's in the way you learn to play music and the way you create music. For example, for me the best example is how we understand rhythm as Greeks, because the whole of Europe listens to 2 and 4 as the downbeats. We listen to 1 and 3. So that is a very like structural way of listening to rhythm that is different in our music. And like it influences the way you play and make music, whether you like it or not, whether you do it consciously or not. Yes.
Yeah, because for us Greeks and no time signature is very natural.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then if you play to someone who's not Greece,
They have to
have a hard time understanding where is the one.
Where you have the best and the worst audience during your tour, or are there at all any differences? For example, of your audience in Greece and abroad, or are the similar or same people coming, same mindset people coming to your concerts all around the world?
So we can all agree to the worst show. We play to Vienna. I will name the venue. Never mind. It's called G5. Don't play there. The promoter was very rude. He had like he's only like he cared only about making money, which is not the case for all the other venues. We are a local band from Greece. We don't have like 1 million people following us to come to a show, and we found lots of people who don't care about it. They just want to have like
We found communities. We found communities that they do this to support music because they like listening to music and
different kinds of music
yes.
and just meeting people from
and discovering new bands. And this is like, I still say it and I shiver because it's so sentimental and touching that we met all these people that they want to do this because they love music. So yes, this is the new thing that we discovered in this tour because we were only in a certain audience in Athens.
Yeah, for me it's better playing for 20 people that you don't know than 100 friends.
Yes.
Because your friends are kind of bored of listening to your music. And they're just there to support you. But going on tour and having like 20 people in the audience, 20 people who really are here to listen to what you're doing.
What are your plans for the future? Where are you planning to tour next time? Are you already planning it already? Or are you concentrating on having some new albums or some digital recordings or anything else like that?
I'm kind of bored of the previous stuff. So because I don't want to be bored anymore, we have to do some new stuff. Actually, Leah is a new member of the band.
Like really new. I just came along for
You're
this.
just like mom old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just a bunch of 2-year-olds. Okay, so we're gonna play some more music and we're gonna try to play everywhere they book us.
Yeah, trying to tour indefinitely. That's